Hello everybody and good evening, Steffi here from The Makers. I'm going solo tonight, yes, no earpiece, completely just me. So if there's anything weird happening, do let me know. I'll check into the messages on Facebook. As we're streaming this live on Facebook, today is the, I want to say the 26th, is that right? I hope so. Anyway, it's one of those days on Tuesday. No, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday because I didn't do it yesterday. Now, that's my normal live streaming in the evening, but stuff happened and I just couldn't do it. So anyway, I'm here tonight. I hope many of you are joining me, even though it's a completely weird time and everything's different. But I've got Colette keeping an eye on things, and the only thing that I will be doing slightly different is that I'm going to post all the links of all the things that I'm mentioning. I will post them all at the end of the live stream into the comments. And of course, if you're watching this anytime on YouTube, you will not have those links in your comments because this is a live stream on Facebook. All very complicated, but I'm sure you will all understand it. Oh, I think we've got somebody new. Let's just see who is there. Well, Colette is there. Sharon is a newbie. Hello, newbie. Vanya is there. Hello. Maureen from Canada. Nice to see you. Ellie is there. Hi, Ellie. And I'm sure that a few others will join us. Well, what are we doing tonight? We are actually making the iris fairy, and there she is. She's a very bright coloured, is this in the screen? No, but it was poking in my face. This is a very bright coloured, lovely fairy that looks like she's just popped out of the ground. She's got some organza wings here, and then these are felt sheets and they're felted on as well. And she's got a beehive hairdo, and yeah, that's basically it. So I have worked a little bit ahead tonight, only because you must have seen me make zillions of heads for fairies and zillions of arms. So I actually made the head and the arms already. And if you do want to know where to find how to make the head and the arms, we have got plenty of fairy projects, so you can just watch the first few minutes of that and then maybe rejoin this particular video tutorial. So honestly, there are so many examples. I think from now on I will only start after the head and the arms, unless there's a special technique that I need to share. Now I've got the overhead camera settings, so you can see it all nicely close up. And of course I've got the fairy box, which is currently empty because I've emptied it all out here ready. So these fairy boxes are available on subscription, which saves you a few pennies, pounds even. Or you can just buy the one off each time, whichever fairy you fancy. That's entirely up to you. And do you want to see a preview of next month's fairy, which is not very far away? This is the marigold fairy, just to give you a taste of what's to come. And she's sitting on her swing and her hair is flying in the air. She's quite a redhead, this one, love her. And she's got these beautiful marigold petals there. You can sort of make them even stick out a little bit at the back with beautiful green Angelina fibre wings. But that's jumping ahead. We are doing the iris fairy tonight, and so I'm going to go straight into this. I keep checking that I haven't got any messages. That's all good. So I'm assuming you can all hear me and all see me. Just have another little check-in what's happening here on the live streams comments here on oh, Carol is here as well now. We have got Mel. Hi Mel. Sherry and Gina. Hello. Rain is there, Jane is there, and Michael is there. Michael, a rare visitor, hello. And then we have got, yeah, that seems to be it, who have made themselves known. But, of course, there's always more watching than necessarily who is commenting. Right, let's go straight into the overhead camera and continue working on the fairy that I have already started. And if you're wondering what's this peeking into the window, this is a gift. It is a gift from Colette, and it is a little dish, and has got a magnet underneath it, so you can pop your needles in there. and they stay safe, right? They don't fall off there. So that is one use for them. As you all know, I usually put my eyes in on the magnet thing so that they don't get lost. Now, I don't mean literally my eyes, I mean little tiny eyes. And let's just check it out. Ooh, look at this. They don't go anywhere. Now, of course, we don't sell these dishes because this is a special creation. I normally have my very old boring magnet, but it works perfectly and you can put a lid on it as well. If anybody's interested in these little dishes, I'm going to give this a fantastic business a plug now. This is actually made by Emily Cross Ceramics. Don't know if you can see this. And it's if you find them on Instagram at Emily Cross 3810 and Facebook MX Ceramics. So MXX is the letter X Ceramics, and they have, that is also their web address, which is Emily, or you can email her Emily Cross at mxceramics.com. Now, I don't know if there is a spelling mistake, but it said ceramics, which I'm guessing is a spelling mistake. Anyway, just look them up on Instagram and you'll be fine. So they do these fantastic little dishes with magnets on, and you can put your needles in there, or better still, as I do, my eyes. But it's not my eyes really. I made Carol laugh at Wonderwall because I can't remember who I made laugh. Somebody, because I said I used these to rest my eyes on, and people literally thought I think it was in the workshop actually. Anyway. Let's stop waffling. Right, these arms need to be attached to the fairy, and we wrap the arms so that there's a little bit of bare wire in the middle, because that makes the wrap around the main wire. Just wrap them around once. The thing about this is that if the length of the arms are not the same, you can sort of unwrap one end and wrap the other end, so you can actually adjust the length working your way around. So that's quite a good way of attaching the arms, and then you push them all the way up. Now, I haven't done the legs yet. The wire for this particular make was cut into 12, 18 and, what was it again? 12, 18 and 15 centimeters. So this is the longest wire that I haven't used yet, which is for the legs. And I'm going to show you how to make the legs. Now, you might remember that not so long ago I was talking about how we're doing these new woolly waxes that used to be the beeswax balm, but we've improved the recipe and we want your feedback. Now, so far nobody has told us anything, so please, if you have bought these on special offer woolly waxes, do give us some feedback, because we want to start going into production on them, but we need to know if they're any good or not. Now, I've just used some of these beeswax. I used the light one on the arms, and what I've done is, and I'll show you on the legs, I've just scraped off a little bit with my fingernail and I've put it between my fingers, and now I'll take a strand of the wool. It's quite sticky, so the wool will stick to it, but it will all come it will all become clear. Now, you're not going to wrap these legs all the way to the end. Just need to remind myself how far away from the end. You leave about 1 centimeter off without the wool, just here at the end. And then you're going to work your way towards the middle. So remember, fold the wool round the wire, flat like a ribbon. Now, what I've done is I'm going to turn this whole thing round, and as I now let the wool slide through my fingers, it gets covered ever so slightly in the woolly wax. The woolly wax is almost like it turns the wool into a lanolin rich wool. If you know us and our special wools, then you know that the lanolin rich is one of our favorite. It only comes in the natural color, which is such a shame, because it would be great if it came in other colors, but I think then you couldn't dye a lanolin rich wool because of the sheep oil still in there. But now you've got a really smooth cover. And I'm going to repeat that again. So I have got this in a tin, which is what we used to do, but they won't be cut. We won't sell them in a tin anymore. They come as a separate shape. So I'm going to add a little bit more onto my fingers. And this is the light one at the moment, which is the softest one that we do. I'm going to add another layer. I'm starting in the same direction, same end, sorry, as I started before. And you can see it's sticking to my fingers, so it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but the wool feels quite greasy, and that's exactly what you want. And as you run it through your fingers, you will find that the wool becomes quite sticky. So if you have always had trouble to make the wool stay around the wire, and I have suggested in the past use a little bit of glue, and that's absolutely fine. Clear drying glue is also good. But if you like the idea that you're using a natural product that is has been made from natural oils, then this is the way to go. So see, have a look if you can find, if we've still got it in stock. I'm pretty certain we do, and if not, then just hang fire, because they will come into stock for real in the future in 3 different colors. And I've got a pen here at the hand because I need to just make a note. Woolly wax link. I'm going to send that link at the end of the live stream. Right, so I've got my set of legs here now, all ready to be attached to the fairy. Now the set of legs is slightly differently attached than the set of arms, and you're going to position the legs about 3 centimeters from the head down to the top of the legs. Now this is different from the other fairies. If you're making our fairies, it's usually 2.5 centimeters. So I'm just going to measure that distance. And what definitely helps is to bend the legs in half already, because if you do that, you know where the middle is. Now in the instructions, I haven't done that on this occasion, but at least you've got same length legs then. And then you just bend the wire up around the middle of the legs once, and then twice again. Right, and then you get rid of the end of the wire by twisting it around the body. Now if you've got too much wire, which is possible, depends how much wire you used on the head, there is actually a new product that we have listed very recently, and they are these little amazing little pliers, and I really love them. Now they called combination plier because they have actually 2 jobs. They are so amazing, especially if you've bought the Shaun the Sheep kit. You will definitely need a set of these. They are really, really good. So what they have is that you can work the tip to bend wire. It makes quite small bends into the end of the wire, which is great. But they also have a cutting blade there, so you can cut the wire off. So you can see there's a tiny bit of wire. And they come as the long nose pliers, but they also come as a flat end wires, pliers even. And of course they really help to if you're struggling with your fingers sometimes to bend the wire, these are an essential tool. And they're quite small, so they can fit in quite a small tool bag. They're quite nice in your hands. They pop open. They're on a spring, so that's quite useful as well. And like I say, they are a good brand as well. So if you haven't got these yet, definitely get them. I'm just going to put that on my pliers on my list. It's because I'm going to be busy. This is all good. Right, so put these to one side. I don't actually need them anymore now. So now I've got my my fairy, very, very skinny fairy, and I'm going to start putting the wool around the body first. So I tease the wool, get it into a nice strand, and I'm going to start wrapping the wool around the body, middle of the body first, just to get rid of all of the wire. We don't want any wire showing. So I'm doing the same as I did with the arms and the legs, but I'm doing it a little bit more generously and a little bit wider strand. So I wrapped this wool around the body, below the arms and around the legs. So that's where I'm going next. So I've got to go around the legs, that way once, and then that way once. So I'm tidying her up by wrapping a little bit of wool around it. And at some point you will have to use your needle felting needle that comes in your fairy kit. This is a medium needle, and just stub the wool down a bit. Whilst she's not entirely finished, you can already start just tucking the wool away so that you don't get too messy a look. And remember, of course, there's wire inside, so go steady with the needle. I hit the wire every time I stuff, but I don't hit it very hard, so it's not affecting the needle by getting bent or broken. And then, of course, you can always go past the wire as well. Now we need to cover more on the upper body. So I use a little bit more of the green wool going around the top. And I'm also going around the top of the... I'm going around the shoulders. Let's go around the shoulders now. top of the shoulders. So this is all the areas where the wire will still be visible. I'm actually going around the neck as well, because that always gives a nice, clear, defined shape of the head if you get the neck covered as well. Okay. Cover that, go around and round and round. Yeah. And then I'm going to felt this down as well. So just having a look where we're going next. We're going to use the yellow wool in a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to go to the big camera and just check that everybody is all right. Let's have a look. Yeah, all still here. Let's have a look who has joined us and who is here and make some comments. Really want to go to Wonderwool. You must, Jane. It's not so far from you either. Definitely put it in your diary next year. It is the best thing, honestly. Oh, so Colette says she's had those pliers for 5 years and they're still going strong. Yeah, there's no reason why they should be, why they should get broken. Oh, Colette, you're doing a good job keeping the conversation going. Thank you very much. Katrina says they're great pliers. Excellent. Serena, oh Serena, I haven't seen you for ages. I hope you're all right. Your children must be almost grown up now, unless you've had some more. Hope not. You've already had so many. Sorry, that sounded all wrong. From somebody who's got 4 children to somebody who's got 4 children. I think I'm excused to say that. Anyway, Serena, I hope you're all right. Woolly wax is brilliant for sticking fluff to needles. And also for creating claws and beaks. That's right. So that's the other stuff that... oh, it was you, Carol, when I said I'm resting my eyes. Resting my eyes. But I'm not really resting my eyes on these magnet pads. I'm just resting the glue-in eyes on the mats. So yes, anyway. Right, what else can I do? Can I tell you? So I think one of the things that would be really nice is, just for a bit of fun, is to come up with a good question that everybody could answer. So I'm going to have a go at this now. Tell us when you've been the most misunderstood. Just pop it in the comments on the live stream on Facebook. Tell us when you've said something and you got the most misunderstood, like you used the wrong phrase of word, or it was in the wrong context, or you said it inappropriately at completely the wrong moment, and it just went down absolutely pear-shaped, and if there was a hole in the ground that you could have sunk into, you would have gladly sunk into it. Just tell us one of those occasions and just give us a bit of a giggle tonight. So that would be nice to hear from you. If you could tell us, when have you had your most embarrassing moment, and you said something that went... I want to tell you one occasion, but I don't think I can, because I don't think it's very good. I think I might get into trouble with all kinds of people here. Not you guys, none of you, but more the higher authorities who might be listening in, because it's not quite, yeah, whatever. Right, okay, let's stop talking. Next bit, let's get to the yellow part of the fairy. So you have in your kit, actually, you have 2 kinds of yellow, very bright, lovely yellow, and a golden yellow. And you're going to take the bright yellow, which is this one. You're going to take that and you're going to wrap this around the upper body of the fairy. So there's always lots of wool in there. I have all this brown left from making my arms and head. I've got all this green at the moment still from wrapping the body. I've got probably plenty of this left as well. Right, so we're now going around the upper body and getting fairy dressed even more around the top. I'm actually going to go around the arms here again. There. And the other arm as well. And felting it down is that's always the main thing, is felting it down. Felting that down as well. So you want to get to a upper body a green to cover the upper body. Note your upper body might be a little shorter than shown here on the image. Yeah, that's because my first fairy had a much longer upper body, but I've actually shortened it in the instructions. So this fairy keeps her arms bare, but I might just add a little bit of yellow around the top of the arms. I quite like that with the fairies, but that's not what it says in the instructions. She has actually got very very bare upper arms on the real one here. I'll show you. There, she's got very bare arms, almost like she's got a tank top on. But I think I'm going to give my fairy little sleeves, just for the fun of it. Just showing you that you can do different things. It doesn't have to be exactly what it says on the instructions. You can vary your creations and your makes. Felt that down. So there's quite a bit of felting. Obviously you will be using your felting mats that come in the fairy box. I'm using the earth friendly felting mat that I've had ready prepared here, but your felting mats will work absolutely fine. Some of you who are regulars you've got your own tools and your own felting mats, but our fairy kits, they do come with the mat and with the needle felting, with one needle felting needle. So usually that's all good. Right, let's do the other sleeve. And then I'm going to move on to getting my petals ready. Now I've also worked ahead a little bit with the petals, and so I'm a little bit further ahead than maybe if you are felting along. You might not be able to do that all in one setting, but it does take quite a while to draw around the template for the petals, then transfer them onto the felt sheet, which then has to be cut out, and there's one particular pattern that's quite intricate and takes a little while to cut it out. So I haven't actually cut this out, but I will share later on the link some really good scissors that you can use to cut this out, because our rainbow scissors that I've used before, which I haven't got a pair here to show you, they also come in a curved with a curved blade, which works quite well if you have to cut round things. So I will share that in the link as well. I'm just going to write that down. Rainbow scissors. There. Okay. So what I'm doing next is showing you how to get the templates cut out, but I'm not doing it. I'm just explaining it. So on the back of the instructions, you've got one petal template, and then you've got sort of a row of petals which you cut out in one bit. And what I've done is I've used some transparent paper, right, drawn around it once, done the same here, which is here and here, okay, and then all I've done is I've laid it out on the felt. There's a long felt strip, laid these out on there. Well, cut one square out, cut another square out, cut another square out, and then cut the proper petal shape up by drawing around on it on the felt with a blunt soft pencil, so you can barely see the drawn lines. And then I've done the same with this. So they're all ready now. All my 3 petals and that row of petals, they're all ready for the next step. So this is just to save a little bit of time, because it is quite a long-winded process to do that. So those 3 cut-out petals, the larger ones, they form the skirt of the fairy. But first of all, you need to prepare them. And for this, you take the golden yellow and you felt this down from one side only, so that you felt from, this is the top, the slightly pointier part is the top of the petal, so where it goes onto the fairy, and you lay out some of these, and then you want to stab it through only from one side. And I don't know if you can see this, but the sides are curving up, and that is so typical of an iris, that the sides are actually quite curved up, so they do need to look a little bit crumpled almost. So it's okay for them to be slightly shaped in that way, and we achieve that by stabbing into them. So you can see that they're slightly curved now, from a flat shape to a slightly curved shape. So that is exactly intentional. We do want that to happen. But to do this, you have to stab into them, and as soon as you stab into them, you can see the sides are curling up. So we're adding that little bit of yellow onto the top and letting it sort of run into the petal just for another color variation. So you can add it even further down. Just keep it nice and wispy the further down you go. But as soon as you stab into these petals, and you're only doing this from one side, they curve up and they become a little bit crinkled, and that's exactly what we want. So slightly crinkled shape leaves, and then there's the last one. Again, just a little bit from the top of the petal down. I've had some good news today. We've had our 3D Percy approved by no less than Nick Butterworth. So I'm really pleased that Percy now, the next job is to get the instructions up and running, and we're still working on a fox and a badger. There's a few tweaks that need to happen, but Percy is approved, yay! So you can watch out for that one to come along. Right, three curved and dented and whatever you want to call them petals. So I'm going to show you them here as well. You can see that they're ever so slightly a lot more realistic than they were earlier when they were all flat and whatnot. Now, before I continue, we for those of you who are close enough to us in Ellsworth who could come for a day's workshop from 10 till 3, we have got spaces left at our poppy landscape workshop. And I'm not even going to show you the thumbnail, I'm just going to show you what you can make. So this is a poppy landscape, and what I love about it is that you will get, and you won't get that, but you have a palette of colours that you're literally using to paint this landscape, and it's run by no less than Carol. So some of you may know Carol from the makers, but some of you might not know that she's actually working for the makers now, and she's going to come and run this workshop for us at our headquarters, where you will get all of the materials to make this, but you will also get all kinds of other goodies, as we are well known for during the workshop. Not just edible goodies, but we're always generous with extra useful tools and equipment. Now, thank you, Colette, for pointing that out. So I need to put the poppy workshop into the links later. I will do that. So don't worry about it now. I'll pop it into the comments very shortly after this. And let's have a look at your most embarrassing moments where you said maybe the wrong thing, or something like that. Okay, let's have a look. Has anybody said anything? Oh my god, you're all laughing. I need to know what this. A dear friend I hadn't seen in a while had put a little weight on. I said, congratulations, when is the baby due? Oh god, that happened to me. That's terrible. Oh dear. Oh my, just spat my coffee out, said Colette. Oh, it's reminding me of all kinds of things. Katrina says this wasn't me, but someone at work sent an email to invite everyone for tea and teats. Oh dear, how embarrassing. Well, I will be honest, I've often, but I spotted it thankfully before I sent it. Well, occasionally I didn't spot it, but I've sometimes, instead of best wishes, I've put breast wishes, and and I can assure you I've got no wishes for bigger breasts. So obviously a complete typo. And then what did I do? Oh yes, I can't even say this, but in a group chat the other day, and Carol will confirm this, instead of woolly wax, it was a misspelling and the O turned into an I. I'm not even going to say it, but anyway, that was another one that was probably a funny mistake I made. You've all gone quiet, embarrassing or really bad. Yes, so anyway, do tell us more of your embarrassing moment. Yes, it's usually mortification that follows after you drop a bombshell like this. Right, so fairy, that's how far she has got. She's got nice long legs. I really like her. She's a very sort of like elegant long-legged fairy. And I'm going to now attach the flower petals to her. I think that's what I'm doing next. Let's just double check. Oh no, I need to prepare the smaller petals first. Right, so now we've got this row of petals here. And I've got to do a similar thing to what I did with the larger ones by just taking wisps of the wool and stabbing it into each of these little petals, just all from one side, so don't get tempted to felt it from two sides. And that will also sort of shape these petals slightly curvy. That's all good. So just giving you the heads up as a very private heads up. Advent calendars. I know why on earth are we talking about advent calendars. Well, you can never talk too soon about advent calendars, and I'm just telling you this because in the past we've always had people who've missed out. So I am absolutely adamant. I am going to talk about advent calendars every single time I'm on the live stream. So set your alarm clock. Set your alarm clock, because the advent calendars will be live at 5 on the 5th. You're not going to forget this, right? It's all 5s. 5 on the 5th. It will be live on the at 5 on the 5th of May. And that's, of course, PM, 5 p.m. So have your set your alarm clock so you don't miss out. Okay, now, petals attachment. Let's bend the arms up. And I'm going to attach these petals, and they're actually going exactly the wrong way than you might have thought they're going on. So you're going to put them on, and the waist of the fairy will be a lot smaller than the actual loop of the petal, and that is intentional, because what we want to do is we want to almost sort of like put pleats into that row of petals, so that they come nice and close together. And because you've got the yellow wool in there, you can just stab into that all along. So place it out a little bit, stab it in, go along, and then stab some more all around. And then where it's crinkly, if you look from underneath, you can add a little bit more of the yellow wool if you want, the golden yellow, and just get them flattened out. So you're actually fastening them on, these petals, with the spare fabric crinkling up and going into pleats, and that's exactly what needs to happen. So that's what is the plan, so that the petals look even closer together. So felt them down all around there, and then you're going to attach the larger petals. So what you want to do is you want to space them out so that you've got probably 2 on one side, so they're slightly going towards the back. You have to decide what is the front and the back of the fairy. But what you're doing is you're actually putting them on the wrong way around. So this is the way where we stabbed into, but you're actually putting them on the wrong way around. So next, take one of the large petals and felt onto the base of the small petals by laying it down so it faces upwards. The petal will be felted down from the wrong side. Okay, so you want to put this here at the front. I'm going to put one at the front, and I stab into the back of the petal and into that base of the smaller petal chain to fasten it on. Okay, and then I'm going to take the next petal, and I'm going to go sort of almost have the other two on if you like, if you imagine on each bum cheek, if it did have a bum. You can always add a little bit of wool to make it stick, so to speak, make it stay. Remember, there's a lot of wire there. And then the last one, wrong way around, goes onto the second bum cheek, so to speak. So you've got one at the front and then 2 framing the first one. So there's 3 equally spaced out, basically, like sort of like a triangular point shape. And at the moment they're all facing up, so she's got her skirt completely the wrong way around. But now you're going to bend them down like this, so that they're coming down, but they're not completely hanging flat by the side of the fairy, and that's exactly what it needs to look like. So you, that is the look we want. And then we are going to move on to finishing her head off. I've got all this wool left over. I try every time to cut down the wool, but I'm obviously not very good. Now, where did I rest my eyes? Here they are. Aha! Oh, needle got stuck to the back. Put that there. Actually, I need the needle. So, ooh, stuck to the needle now. You're going to make a hole in the... I'm just going to put the arms down now. Can stay there. Oh, there's a bit of green showing. I'm just going to cover that up. Love that about needle felting. You can always go over everything again. Nothing's ever finished until you decide it's finished. Add a bit more, cover that up. Right, so now we need to add the eyes in. Now the eyes need to sit on a middle line of the head, where I'm holding my needle. Imagine from ear to ear, imaginary ear to ear. You're going to poke a hole in there with your felting needle. Unless you've got one of our awls, they're really great. They're nice and thin. We've actually discontinued the other awls because they were a little bit too thick for some of the work that we're doing. So you can use that instead. Then add the eye into the hole. In it goes, there, one, and then I do the other. Now I quite like the eyes quite far apart because that gives them quite a cute sort of young look. You can have them closer together. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm sure it looks just as cute. It's just personal taste. Right, eye goes in. 2 eyes are in. And if they are in the right place, then all you need to do is get your glue stick. Add a dab of glue behind it. Of course, it's bound up. That's another useful use of the awl, is to poke it in the glue bottle. Get rid of the glue on it. There. Right, get the glue behind the eye. Oh gosh, it's definitely working now. That side as well. There. Lid back on. And I'm just going to have to write this down. All glue bottle. That's it. So the glue will dry clear, but in the meantime you can use a tiny bit of this pink. Don't use all of it, for goodness sake, or you'll have a ginormous mouse. Can't even see the fairy anymore. Tiny bit of this light pink to give her a delicate little mouth. This is a fairy, so we do want to keep the features quite delicate. Give her a tiny little mouth. Stubbing that pink into place. Oh gosh, this is definitely wonky. Right, take that off or pull it over a little bit. Sometimes it also helps to felt in between the eyes, just to give a slight indentation between the eyes for an eye line. Get the mouse in there. This is very delicate work. What is that there? Something on the wool. Might be glue. I can cover that up with a bit more brown. Looks a bit weird when they haven't got hair, so I'm going to add the hair now. Now the hair is made with the black tops. That's quite a lot. You might not use all of this. In fact, I would start out with maybe half. There, and see how you go. So the way to do this is we're going to build the whole hair all in one go, making that beehive top. So I'm felting one end down onto the fairy first, like this. And I'm going across, I'm covering all of the head with that wool strand basically. So I'm felting it from one end, from one side to the other. Just get it all, frame the face first, as we usually do with fairies. I'm twisting the wool ever so slightly because it's easier to felt it down if you give it a slight twist. Felting it down, trying to keep the eye clear. And now I'm going round the back. So you want to cover the back of the head. And so cover all of the head first with hair before you start turning it into a top knot or beehive or whatever you want to do with it. So now that's all covered, and I'm actually in the perfect position now to wind this round itself into sort of a bit of a hairdo there. So you can wind this up. Obviously it's not going to stay by itself like this, so you're going to have to felt it down. Just give it a few twirls first, there, like this, and then felt it down. I mean, don't felt it flat, but just felt it so that it doesn't fall apart. That's it. So she's got like is that what it's called, a beehive? I think it is, isn't it? So she's got this big top knot or this big hairdo there, which of course you can make smaller. The leftover wool, which is all of this, would have been way too much, so I'm putting that to one side. Right, that is now the fairy done, but of course we need to position her into the felting mat. So we've got the felting mat here, the 2 felting mats that you probably have been using, and now we're going to cover it with the brown wool. But before we do this, we have to position her onto it because she hasn't got any feet as such. So I'm going to poke 2 holes into the felting mat. This is actually not the ones that you would have been having in your kit. Let's find one, because that one doesn't look very, hang on, they don't look very, like they're the same size. I must have had them knocking around from something else. Right, let's use this. So I'm going to poke a hole into the felting mat with my awl. Big hole. You can use your needle as well. Put 1 foot in there. Might have to do the splits for now. Get it in there. In fact, you're not going all the way. You're just doing 1. I think you're only doing 1. Yes, you're only doing 1. Sorry. So that's in there. That makes it easier actually. And then the other foot, so you can have them close together. I think that looks better, unless they, otherwise she looks like she's standing in the flower bed going for wee. So yeah, no, have the legs closer together rather than spread out. She's more ladylike that way. Put it that way. And then, get that in there. So you will have both the wires. You can actually see if it looks okay or not. If it doesn't look okay, then just I need to have them closer together. Yes, so have them nice and close together. That is definitely my recommendation. I want to make her legs a bit thicker, but I'm not doing that now. They look a bit spindly. I could still do that now, obviously. So put the legs in there and then pull them. You might push the wool up a little bit, but put them in there so that she is standing evenly. She's got definitely two long, one leg slightly longer than the other. And then you're going to twist these wires shut underneath, like that, and there. So they're now twist shut and she's standing on that part. Then you put the 2 wool mats together like this, and now you're going to start covering it with brown wool for soil. So you want to cover it all the way on the top and the sides, but not at the bottom, because if you cover it at the bottom, you're going to struggle making it stand flat, because inevitably it will be slightly bulged. So bulging. So stub into the sides. Right, so whilst I'm doing this is sort of quite boring to watch. I want to tell you about some other bits and pieces. So we've got the winter retreat. I say this every time. It's actually the summer retreat. We've got the summer retreat pretty much wrapped up, but it is not too late to join. We've now got a private face group for those who are coming. So it's exciting to start making connections and contacts. There's definitely some new people that none of us know potentially, and there are some repeat retreaters, as I call them, as well. And so if you want to come and join us, drop us a line, info@themakers with 2 S's. .co.uk. You can still join us, and just to remind you what we're actually doing, it is, here we go, it is the summer retreat, making making 1 bear. 1 is enough. I think we'll be definitely done in after that. 1 bear of your choice. You can make it in any color you wish within our our capabilities of finding that color amongst our wool. You can make a bear of your childhood stories and dreams and whatever. You can make a bear that you love now. You can make a fantasy bear. You can make a realistic bear. You can make a all kinds of things. So I'm putting in the summer retreat link at the end of the live stream. But the nice thing about the retreat is that it is really about leaving the day-to-day behind and just getting away for a few days, doing something entirely different, connecting with like-minded people, stubbing some wool, learning something new, eating nice food that you don't have to cook, you don't have to tidy away, you don't have to do anything, you just have to sit back and let us look after you. And that is what a retreat is all about, being spoiled. The only thing I will tell you, if you think that you're going to sleep in a 4-poster bed, you've got another thing coming. The beds are comfortable but very basic. So it is an outdoors education center, and it caters for schools and all kinds of things. So the beds are basically bunk beds, but you will guaranteed a bottom bunk. And if you opt for a single room occupancy, you might be lucky enough to sleep every night in a different bottom bunk, because some of the rooms have got 4 to 8 bunk beds in there. Also, if you want to come to a and come and sleep in a bell tent, which is going to be lovely, because we will give you a bunk, not a bunk bed, we won't put a bunk bed in a bell tent. We get you a camping bed. What are they called again? Camp beds. I think that's what they're called. And you will have to bring your own bedding in any case for anything you're doing. Whether you sleep in the bunk bed or in the bell tent. But don't worry, because you'll be so tired in the evening, you will go to sleep and not worry a thing. And then basically, most of the time you will spend awake with us. So the bedroom is the least used room anyway, so it doesn't need to be a luxury. So I'm still working, still working on the fairy, just getting that base done, but I'm pretty much done. So you can see that you can cover, and I've still got lots of wool left as well, so you don't need an awful lot of wool to cover that base for her. The one thing that I haven't done yet is attach the wings, which I skipped that bit for some reason, so I will be doing that. But before I do this, I'm just going to have another check-in into the chat. Of course, Colette and Carol are coming, because they're quite essential to it all, because they're tutoring. Gina has a story. I was on the receiving end of someone's comment that wasn't very nice. I was working doing hairdressing and aromatherapy message. One of my regular clients booked a treatment with another therapist, but when she told me, she said she had booked with a proper therapist. How cheeky! I am fully trained. That's not very nice. What can you do to somebody who is mean whilst you're cutting their hair? Well, I can think of a few things. Oops, the scissors slipped. What else? Fluff, fun, food and friends. Absolutely, Colette. You've got it in 4. Jane is gonna come. She's watching. Just seeing who is here, who's actually coming. Oh, Ellie wants to come. Buy Ellie's art so she can come. I'm trying not to put things on the credit card and the car finance doesn't finish until August. Oh, damn it. Oh, well, you'll get there eventually, Ellie. You will. What else? Yes, Advent calendar the 5th, remember? Put your alarm clock on. It's going to go live at 5 on the 5th. That's quite easy. Going to go live at 5 on the 5th. And remember, you can buy your Shaun the Sheep kit as well. Let's have a little link to that as well. We are busy packing. They're very naughty, those Shaun kits, because they keep popping open. So we're trying to find solutions of how they can stay closed. But you can get a kit for either the Shaun on 2 legs or the Shaun on 4 legs. And of course, I can't wait to see the first Shauns pop up on somewhere on Facebook or Instagram of people that have actually made them. And I'm gonna say it again. I say it over and over. Do tag Shaun the Sheep at Shaun the Sheep into your posts, because their artmen really love it when you make something to resemble their characters. And I'm sure the Shaun the Sheep kits will be absolutely amazing. I have poured my heart and soul into them, and I'm sure that I couldn't be any more explicit with the instructions. Right, I'm going to go to your overhead camera because we need to attach the wings. The wings are here, and it's actually really quite straightforward. These are little organza wings. I'm going to put those in the link as well. Write it down, Steffi. Organza wings. Okay, and then I'm going to put down the magnet caddy as well, because it is really very good to have. Whether it's not as nice looking as this lovely little dish, but they are very useful. Right, so put the fairy on her front so that you have access to the back here. Now the wings need to be, sometimes they go a bit wonky, those wings, but you can iron them. But they need to be opposite each other. So you're going to lie them down. What is the, so they crisscross over in the middle. That's what I'm trying to say. So you need to lie them down on the back of the fairy, like that. Stay that way. There. And then all you're going to do is take a bit of the bright yellow wool, lay it into that area where the wings are crossing. Make sure they're exactly how you want them, and then stab through the organza fabric into the back of the fairy. I'm going to stab a fairy in the back. How naughty is that? Did anybody watch the video the other day on Everyone a Maker, when I took you yet again on the dog walk and we stepped inside the wishing beaches and we all did a wish together? That reminds me, you can join our Everyone a Maker group by just going on there, and please do answer questions. I hate turning people down when they don't answer any questions, but I have to, because that's the rules. And so yes, please come and join the group, and then you don't miss out on these little walks that I'm doing in the lovely countryside here in the Forest of Dean. I think I'm done. I think I could easily do a little bit more on that base to make it look a bit neater, but I'm going to leave it like that. And that's almost the hour up as well. So thank goodness I worked ahead with the petals and the head and the arms. I knew it was going to be a long one. But that's basically the fairy done. For those of you who can't wait until next month, it's not that far away, for the new Makers box. Remember, it's the teacup pig. Here he is, having a nice time in his teacup. I think he would look amazing displayed on a dresser next to the real teacups. How about that? And what's better still, it's our 6th anniversary box. Can you believe that? 6 years of the Makers subscription boxes. I wonder who's been there from the beginning. We have a special treat lined up for you in the box as well. So remember, the subscription boxes are available to purchase as a one-off, but also as a subscription. It just saves you quite a lot of money if you subscribe. And before we get to the teacup pig, you still got a chance to get the boar piglets. So it's all about pigs with the makers at the moment, whether they are wild or tame or whatever pigs. So yes, do join our subscription boxes. They are fun to make, and there's always a lot of laughter involved as well. Right, I think I've talked about, I've got a subscription box link. Hang on, sub box link. Okay, that's all the links I need to. Are you telling me all those links as well? Yes, teacup link, Shaun the Sheep link for summer retreat. Thank you, Colette. You're amazing. I've got them all. Excellent. So I'm going to put all those links into the Facebook chat. And then, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, all I will say, give us the thumbs up, tell your friends and yourself, obviously subscribe to our channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, then do give us the thumbs up as well. Like this video. You can share it to your friends. This is a free tutorial. We don't ask you to pay for this. This is our time, free to you. So on Facebook, you can send us stars if you feel we deserve a bit of appreciation. And of course, next week it's already the unboxing. So let's just have a quick look what's on the plan for the next few live streams. So it's the sub boxes revealed on Tuesday, the 2nd of May. I cannot believe we're in May. Anyway, and then on Tuesday, the 9th of May, we're doing the Little Highland Coup, and then on Tuesday, the 16th of May, we're already doing the Marigold Fairy. Marigold Fairy. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Flows easily from the lips. Marigold Fairy. We're doing that together on Tuesday the 16th of May. And just to remind you, the upcoming sub boxes are the Teacup Pig, as I've just shown you, the Marigold Fairy, and the 5-a-day surprise box. And all of that, this May sub boxes, will be unwrapped on the 2nd of May. So, surprise box, 5-a-day. It is a very juicy looking box, I can tell you that for nothing. Teacup Pig, our maker's box, and the Marigold Fairy as our fairy box. And I'm just going to check if I've missed anything on here. I've talked about that. Oh yes, let's just have the coronation mice in there for a minute. It's not too late to get your coronation mouse kit. It is a limited edition kit, so if you haven't got it yet but you want it, then definitely buy it. It is a nice one to remember the coronation by. I've seen people use it as some of the display that they've got out and about, and maybe on their parties, taking them to the parties. So you can make a queen and a king mouse. And I have to add all of this in there now. What did I say? Coronation. And what was that before? I've already forgotten under the sub boxes. That's it. Of course, we've got the Royal Pooch as well, which is a free tutorial on our YouTube channel as well. And then finally, I just want to say, please, if you're coming to the Artisan Fair at Hampton Court Palace, talking about royalty, which takes place May the 12th to the 14th, or if you know anybody who's going, it is the first time for us, so I'm not quite sure what kind of people go to this event, but you can actually come and do a workshop with us, and you can book the workshop via our website. So I'll post that link in there as well. Artisan Fair workshop link. Okay, that's going up as well. And then, not just as a very, very last thing, we actually have got a hair picture with Agnes Davies coming up on the 29th of June. So this, we're thinking way ahead now, from 9 until 1. This is a short beginner friendly workshop just in the morning at our Nailsworth headquarters, and it's a small picture. It's only a postcard size, but it will teach you how to needle felt and add 3D effects into it. So that is on the 29th of June, Thursday the 29th of June, from 9 until 1 o'clock. Right, I think I've said everything there is to be said. I've done a second Iris Fairy. She can join the first one, who's a little bit lopsided in the ground. There are two of them, one slightly taller than the other one, but that's the charm of needle felting. One doesn't ever look quite like the second one. You'll get to know that if you haven't done many needle felting projects yet. You will definitely get to know that. So take care, everybody. Lots of love, and I will see you next week. So I say cheerio now. Bye.